Hey there, Kaylin here, and welcome to another video in the Too Many Cards series that Emily Leiphart and I have created. Today we're using stamps and dies from Clearly Besotted. We're using the Bookworm stamp set and the That's Genius stamp set, and then the dies that coordinate with each of those. So I'm going to be making 2 bookmarks in this video, one with each stamp set. And the first one I'm doing is using the That's Genius stamp set. I really liked the cat with the glasses who's reading a book. So I decided to use that one first and use the coordinating die that goes with it. So I just cut that out using the same exact cardstock as the bookmark. And this is a thicker cardstock. That way it won't get bent as easily. So I just took some distress ink in black soot and stamped that right down on the die cut. You could, of course, do this the other way where you stamp it first on your cardstock and then die cut it out, but this is the way I did it. So now I'm using some Copic markers in 3 shades of gray, and I'm just going to color in the cat using those 3 shades and just blending as I go. I always start with the lightest color and then bring in the middle color, and then finally I use the dark color, and then I go back in with each layer of the lightest color and use that to blend each of those out. I then added some pink for the cat's nose and then a little bit of an even lighter pink for the cat's cheeks, and then I just blended that out really subtly with the lightest gray. I added just a very light peachy beige color for the book and then added a light brown just for some shadow in the middle of the book and on the sides of the pages. Now I'm going to stamp the sentiment. I like the one that says, "Sleep is good, but books are better." So I'm going to stamp that vertically on the bookmark, and I'm using my Misty stamping tool. So putting my die cut bookmark in there, putting magnets down on top, and I just placed my cat die cut so I could see about where I wanted that sentiment to fit. So I placed it in my Misty, and then I can just easily press that right on the acrylic part, ink it up with the same black distress ink that I used for the cat outline, and then press it down on the bookmark base. And I did this a couple of times just to ensure that it had a nice saturated finish. I decided to also add some book outlines on this bookmark, so I decided to stamp those down in the Party Dress ink color from Catherine Pooler. I really liked this ink color, and I thought it brought out the pink in the cat's nose and its cheeks. So I just kind of stamped them somewhat randomly on the bottom and then on the top left, just to create almost kind of like a little whimsical pattern. So once that's done, I'm going to adhere the cat down using my Tombow Mono Multi Glue. Normally would have popped this up if it was on a card, but because it's going in a bookmark, I just glued it down straight. Now I'm just adding some pink ribbon that matched the ink color closely, and I'm just folding that in half, sticking the folded end through the hole of the bookmark. And then, as you can see, I'm taking the cut ends, sticking that through that loop, and then pulling. Now this ribbon is pretty thick and a little bit stiff, so as you can see, I will be pulling this and kind of adjusting it for a little bit just so that I don't rip the top of the bookmark. You could always reinforce it if you like, but I just left it a little bit loose at the top. So that's going to finish off this first bookmark, and here's a little close-up just so you can see all of the coloring and the details. Now for my second bookmark, I'm going to use the Bookworm stamp set, and I really liked the one that's in a little shirt and tie with his eyes kind of closed. I thought that one was really cute. So just again, I'm stamping down the image using black soot distress ink, and I like using this ink when I know I'm going to be doing some Copic marker coloring because the ink won't bleed, or won't make the ink bleed. So now I'm just coloring with these various Copic colors and doing green for the worm's body and head, and just adding in a little bit of a darker green to give him some dimension. For his shirt, I decided to go with a light turquoise and then just fill in some shadows using a darker turquoise. And to finish off his outfit, I just did a orange tie. Then of course, adding a little bit of a rosy pink cheek. I decided to use some patterned paper on this bookmark, so I went through just an older set of some basic gray paper that I've been holding onto and still loving and using. So I just found a couple of patterns that I thought matched the color scheme on my bookworm nicely. So this green dotted piece and then this yellow-orange scalloped piece. So I just die cut those out using the same bookmark die so that they fit it, and then just adhered those down using my Tombow glue. So I knew I was going to have my worm on the yellow portion, and then I wanted to kind of frame him or have him sitting on top of this little stack of books. So I just placed that bookmark again in my MISTI, aligned up that stack of books how I wanted it, and then going to stamp that down using the black soot distress ink. So now I'm going to add in the sentiment, and I'm going to use the Get Lost in a Good Book sentiment. And again, using my MISTI for this because I want the black ink to be nice and dark so that way you can clearly read it on the patterned paper beneath it. Now just adhering the bookworm down on top of the book background, and then I'm taking some turquoise ribbon that I thought matched his shirt nicely and just trimming that up and using the same technique that I did with the previous bookmark, so folding it in half and getting that folded edge as small as possible, and then making a little loop and putting the two loose ends through that. And this ribbon is more of a satin ribbon, so it was a lot easier to kind of control and tighten around that loop at the top. So that's going to finish off this video. I really hope you enjoyed seeing these two stamp sets used on two different bookmarks. Be sure to check out Emily's video as well to see how she used these stamps and dies on her projects. And don't forget to check the description box below to see how you can win a £25 sterling to the Clearly Besotted store. Thank you so much for watching.